I really enjoyed this series so far and wanted to do a sort of two-part review. The first is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, and these are going to be the first two novels in the Wayfarers series by Becky Chambers. I loved many things about this universe and this book in general. To give you a brief synopsis, our main character is Rosemary Harper. She joins the crew of a Wayfarer. The Wayfarer is a long-haul, deep space, black hole drilling vessel. So it creates like a spaceport between two long-distance locations and requires a lot of very complex astrophysics and math, from what I can tell. And because of that, the Wayfarer crew is very multicultural. So you have humans, but you also have non-humans that are very not human. So you have almost lizard-like, you have lizard-like creatures in this novel. You also have creatures or species or cultures that don't communicate by auditory language, which is also a really cool concept for me. This book sort of felt like if we could have seen the beginning of the Federation of Planets, or the beginning of the Star Trek universe, when the Federation was sort of first born, I think it would have been like this novel. Even experiencing a new place, how it's different for different species. Another one of the crew members is a pair, so they talk about they as the pronoun that they use, even though it's a singular person. They've been infected, and this infection gives them sort of superior space-time recognitions. But because of this bonding that they do with this parasitic second species, what they call the Whisperer, it shortens their life dramatically. And it's the idea of to give up a gift and it becomes sort of a religion. Would you trade your life for it? And then how people deal with conflict. Do you run from it or do you face it head on? There's so many huge concepts in this novel. A lot of people have criticized the second book because this novel is so huge universe-wise. You follow sort of a tight band of people, but you get glimpses into how big this universe could potentially be. The second book focuses on two people. In doing that, it's really limited the scope that you see through. Each novel for me gave something different. And that being said, I'll get into the second book now. So if you have not started the second book, if you've only started the first, I recommend not watching anymore, because I won't be giving away spoilers for the second book. But if you've not read the first, there will be spoilers about that book in the review to come. So our second novel is A Closed and Common Orbit. We follow Lovelace, the AI who has been transferred to a body to help the crew deal with the death of the original Lovely, and Pepper, who we were introduced to in the first book. And I got like a feeling of her. I liked her character. I knew that she had a lot of backstory that I thought could be interesting, and this book on that front did not disappoint. We get a different kind of set of questions, and it is a little repetitive. I think that's why I gave it 4 stars instead of 5. Or you can pick an AI that is sentient, so it will grow and develop and learn and become, its own person. And because it's still an object, this AI will then be scrapped, and it doesn't die. So you have an AI that is hungry for personal contact and interaction, who's rotting in a junkyard. That entire idea and sort of an ancillary justice angle too, where we have Lovelace from the first novel becoming human. She's in a human body, and the change of input versus capability and being able to... It's similar to me, though I know it's not to the same extent, of going back 20 years before I had the internet. And now I'm so used to getting an answer immediately because I can Google anything. Being without my phone when I travel or something is very frustrating. And that is to like the nth degree for Lovelace, sorry. So she's used to having all of the information and being able to handle multiple lines of input at the exact same time. And now you give her a narrow field of vision, and she can't see everything. She can't get answers because she's not jacked in. And the AI ethics point of this book, I think, was really great. I did think she repeated, sort of like hit you in the head with it over and over and over, but it was still done in a way that I enjoyed. And I also really really enjoyed Pepper's backstory. That entire concept of being sheltered and growing up basically institutionalized, which we got from the first book, was crazy. So actually seeing that play out as her history and how she interacted and how she grew and dealt and learned and survived was great for me. I think her backstory was probably one of my favorite aspects about this book in general and about the series thus far. And I know it's a little narrower, and I know she doesn't go into as big of detail, but it explains a lot about her character, and it also explains a lot about the things that are still going on in what should be a perfect society, and we know it's not perfect, but it's trying to be, and there's horrible atrocities that are still happening. And what do you do about that? I don't know. This book in general really sort of primed me more for the universe. I hope we get a lot more of this type of backstory in the subsequent novels. I loved Pepper. I totally get how she became who she is. And that, I think, is good character building, where someone isn't just something because you want them to be, here are the sequence of events that made them that person and influences the decisions that they make today. And that was amazing for me. And I wonder if it was for you. Did you like it? Did you have those same feelings? Did you wish to go back to the Wayfarer and see what happened to the crew? Because that was a disappointment for me as well. I did want a little more of that. But I was also okay with, I'm hoping we're going to get back to them in the third novel. And I hope there are many more than 3. I'm looking forward to your thoughts. I will talk to you soon. Bye.